So now it's interesting with her. I can't get her hand off this ground. Can you feel that? So it's sort of like just working on the head, any different. So you're just here. Now normally I'd pass the bodies around, but I'll do this to all of you so you can feel what it's like. But again, see how I've tried now 3 or 4 times and you're down on this table, which is fine.
Is she using her hand for support?
I don't know, but for whatever reason, her hand is down. You know, we can go on and on and on. Should she be propped, have a pillow? Yes, her feet should be behind the pelvis. I don't care. I'm after for movement, and it's just a different kind of assessment. So I've tried now a couple of times. See, even she moved a hand and came back, and I still can't get this hand up. So now I'm going to come up, and what I would do is more habitually is I'm going to come back and just see if her elbow wants to come up. That's not too happy either. Do you feel how heavy that upper arm is? Can you see that? That's just, I'm not just lifting this arm up to the air. Look at how much weight. That arm still is just not coming off. Fine. So now I'm going to come all the way around. I'm going to come back here just so you can see it. Normally I wouldn't move me, but, so now I'm going to look at, so see how the shoulder's just not rotating. It's flagging back and forth, but I'm not, really rotating the shoulder. So I'm just here, and I'm just looking at different ways, and now I'm going to go just up a little. Now my countering, you don't see it. I put a bit more pressure back on the scapula, less pressure on the shoulder, or vice versa. So I'm going in, I'm going out. That's another way I can counter. If you're looking at counter rotation, then from here. But hopefully that made a lot more sense after I worked through your head. So now she's moving more. But with that, see how the ulna and the radius are changing, just that subtle. Ah, right there, feel the difference? So I'm right here, no problem. Now I'm going down like tuning a piano. Now I could say, what did you do to your arm? And she might say, nothing. Or she can say, I was T-boned and I was in an accident, or I got it from the side. But it could have been also where a 6-year-old brother like clocked her, I mean, I don't know. And maybe she doesn't know. Or what's worse is sometimes people feel they were fine until one specific event. Like Holly worrying about, was it specifically the C-section? Well, life was involved. If she was stressed about the pregnancy, if she, you know what I mean? Like this, that, the other. If she felt she wasn't eating the right things, I mean, who knows where it came from? I don't like to find fault. I just look for glitches. When I find a glitch, I go, So see already the difference?
Wow.
Now this is the part that's like weird for the people I'm working on, because they're like, what just happened? Because that's what Jill was like, huh?
Yeah, that was remarkable.
And if I come here now, there, this is what I'm talking about. So she asked about son playing piano, right? Now that was a fall. Do you see that?
Yeah.
See how she came? That's where I start looking for falls. I'm trying not to block the view, but I always work with 2 hands. But see the staccato? That's what I'm talking about. Do you see how all this is pads getting information? Now, do you see all this? Look at the difference now of how her fingers are attracted to the table. I need a camera just on Ruth for the whole day. See the difference? Look at that level of real estate I now have off these fingers to play a piano, just from that little bit. But don't touch your kid's fingers, you might ruin it. So again, where I can do here, this is why I don't like those octopus thingies in the NICU too. It's like, oh, it's like they're holding the cord. No, they've been birthed now, there's no more cord, they're out of the womb. Can we stop with that? Because they can just Look at the pad placements. Look at all that finger detail that I can get. I can work on rotation this way, or again, that I can come underneath. See, look at there. See that the staccato with the thumb coming up?
Yeah.
So this is where I'd have to work with her. Now, this could be from over texting, I don't know. So now I'm just looking at the thumb and just,
Oh my God, every teenage girl.
so do you see how the hand reflex patterns that I'm working on here now? And that I'm not, but it's all functional. See how much quicker you're getting? Can you see that? How much quicker? With this after an IV. And look, the arm can come off. It's still heavy right there. So that's where I'm going to just come in and just rotate under. See how you're coming over to your arm? And then back. Over to your arm. There you go. Now your arm's totally free. Do you see naturally now? Now watch her rib cage. Do you see how she counters? I bring up the arm. Do you see how nice that is within there? See? That's extension. See how she rotates her hand back?
You don't need a massage therapist after.
No, if you know how to move, then the muscles shouldn't be making the movement. The muscles should be reacting to the movement. So when you're working with massage, that's all they're doing. That's why you don't feel great 3 days later. You might feel great during it, but just to offer quote relief of a knot. What caused a knot in the first place? And it might be your feet, you know. So if I need to be here, and when the system can respond more in a functional manner. So now here, this is where push-ups would be hard for her. So notice I can't get her wrist in a 90-degree angle. This is not the time to sit there and go, come on, sweet, look at that. Look at the startle I have just by putting in her to a 90. But this is where, again, just like I was doing with Paul's feet, see how I'm up underneath and dropping, allowing that gravity to take over into the wrist. There she goes. So see the difference now of that coming into more of a push-up. So nice. See
So
now.
can you work on yourself?
You can, not to the same efficiency, but yes. I actually have a
You
videos
work
of,
on yourself?
again, not to the same, I wish, give me 1 hour on my own outer body experience. But see, the more I work on the hand, do you see more that I get out of her whole body, just from hand and wrist. Now again, I'm increasing her acceleration. This is very important. Handwriting skills, I'm telling you now, if your hand, wrist will only go as fast as your tush.
Your hand and wrist will only go as fast as your fish.
Yes. So, tighten your butt. See the difference? See how her coming over the system? She just doesn't look as pretty. So now from this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Lie on your back. And I just want you to gently feel what it's like to sit up to your right and then come back down and sit up to your left. Just from the wrist and the chest. You feel that?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Did you guys see what
Yeah.
I felt?
Do it again.
But see the difference? How her arm can come over that crossing midline? No midline crossing with this one,
No.
that's how I prefer to get
The
to
legs
it.
up and it's okay.
Yeah. So if you lie down, so if I'm here with her now as a baby, I can just do this, and she weighs about 3 ounces. See, she's just here. You guys can try this if you want. But if I come over here, just alone, that weight of her arm. but see here, look at this. See how the chest is not, and for me to, now, see, that's what Paul was doing. Just see how she tried to lift her head.
Yeah.
Just from that. And like I said, that was very significant to me that Paul was here, but this was, it wasn't, he didn't
Right.
plant. He was kind of doing
Couldn't plant,
this,
yeah.
but he was, doing that kind of thing. But left side, he was good. Now, he'll want, just like the standing leg, be at a point, okay, to answer your question before we're crawling. So if I'm just doing 4 points, I'm a table. I take away one leg, I'm going down. Without a weight transfer, I need to counter shift, especially to the back of my pelvis, almost to the one knee where I have this free and available. The more I can counter, the more I call real estate I have. If I'm countering like this, you know what I mean? Like I might want to play with this, but I can't get to it, or I fall down. I learn, well, don't play over here. You know what I mean? So this is more what it's like. So you'll see when they're here, and again, if I sleep on my belly, right? I'm here. If I have any little dreams, I'm going into a pre-crawl. If I have too much tummy time, or whatever, I'm here. Especially if I go frog. The knee placement is just that little bit higher versus here. Now here again, I have abnormal knees, so you'll see my knees go up. But if I'm here with my legs, that's an issue. But if I'm flat-headed, I'm more here. Look at the difference on how I present and lying down. Right?
Yeah, your hips are
Yeah.
flexed.
All of that, especially here, that this is actually more comfortable now to go frog. And that's where you see flat head kids tend to have a bit more, and then they start getting the hip malformation and the hip dysplasia.
Wow.
So if you want to go, when you lie down in the bed tonight or whatever, you can feel it. This actually hurts. This is more comfortable when my head's okay here. But when I go flat head, I'm actually more comfortable in the... Now it's interesting with her, I can't get her hand off this ground. Can you feel that? So it's sort of like just working on the head, any different. So you're just here. Now normally I pass the bodies around, but I'll do this to all of you so you can feel what it's like. But again, see how I've tried now 3 or 4 times and you're down on the table, which is fine.
Is she using her hand for support?
I don't know, but for whatever reason, her hand is down. We can go on and on and on. Should she be propped, have a pillow? Yes, her feet should be behind the pelvis. I don't care. I'm after for movement, and it's just a different kind of assessment. So I've tried now a couple of times. See, even she moved a hand and came back, and I still can't get this hand up. So now I'm going to come up, and what I would do is more habitually is I'm going to come back and just see if her elbow wants to come up. That's not too happy either. Do you feel how heavy that upper arm is? Can you see that? That it's just, I'm not just lifting this arm up in the air. Look at how much weight, that arm still is just not coming off. Fine. So now I'm going to come all the way around. I'm going to come back here just so you can see it. Normally I wouldn't move me, but, so now I'm going to look at, so see how the shoulder's just not rotating. It's flagging back and forth, but I'm not, really rotating the shoulder. So I'm just here, and I'm just looking at different ways, and now I'm going to go just up a little. Now my countering, you don't see it, I put a bit more pressure back on the scapula, less pressure on the shoulder, or vice versa. So I'm going in, I'm going out. That's another way I can counter. If you're looking at counter rotation, then from here. But hopefully that made a lot more sense after I worked through your head. So now she's moving more. But with that, see how the ulna and the radius are changing, just that subtle. Ah, right there, feel the difference? So I'm right here, no problem. Now I'm going down, like tuning a piano. Now I could say, what did you do to your arm? And she might say, nothing. Or she can say I was T-boned and I was in an accident, or I got it from the side. But it could have been also where her 6-year-old brother like clocked her, you know. I mean, I don't know. And maybe she doesn't know. Or what's worse is sometimes people feel they were fine until one specific event. Like Holly worrying about wasn't specifically the C-section. Well, life was involved. If she was stressed about the pregnancy, if she, you know what I mean, like this, that, the other. If she felt she wasn't eating the right things, I mean, who knows? So see already the difference.
Wow.
Now this is the part that's like weird for the people I'm working on because we're working. What just happened? Because that's what Jill was like, huh?
Yeah, that is remarkable.
And if I come here now, there. This is what I'm talking about. So she asked about son playing piano, right? Now that was a fall. Do you see that?
Yeah.
See how she came? That's where I start looking for falls. I'm trying not to block the view, but I normally, where I always work with 2 hands. But see the staccato? That's what I'm talking about. Do you see how all this is patents getting information? Now, do you see all this too, if a little baby's making all these little movements versus having an IV and the board? So even if this hand was IV'd, there's no reason why mother just can't be on. Look at the difference now of how her fingers are attracted to the table. I need a camera just on Ruth for the whole day. See the difference? And look at that level of real estate I now have off these fingers to play a piano, just from that little bit. But don't touch your kid's fingers, you might ruin them. So again, where I can do here, this is where I don't like those octopus thingies, and I can just look at the pad placements, look at all that finger detail that I can get. I can work on rotation this way, or again, that I can come underneath. Now, see, look at there. See that the staccato with the thumb coming up?
Yeah.
So this is where I'd have to work with her. Now, this could be from over texting, I don't know. So now I'm just looking at the thumb and just.
Oh my God, every teenage girl.
So you see how the hand reflex patterns that I'm working on here now, and that I'm not, but it's all functional. See how much quicker you're getting? Can you see that? How much quicker? But this after an IV, I don't know if the arm can come off. It's still heavy right there. So that's where I'm going to just come in and just rotate under. See how you're coming over to your arm? And then back. Over to your arm. There you go. And your arms to the way. Do you see naturally now? Now watch her rib cage. Do you see how she counters? I bring up the arm. Do you see how nice that is within there? See? That's extension. See how she rotates her hand back?
You don't need a massage therapist after this.
No, if you know how to move, then the muscles shouldn't be making the movement. The muscles should be reacting to the movement. So when you're working with massage, that's all they're doing. That's why you don't feel great 3 days later. You might feel great during it. But just to offer, quote, relief or not, what caused the knot in the first place? And it might be your feet, you know? So if I need to be here, and when the system can respond more in a functional manner. So now here, this is where push-ups would be hard for her. So notice I can't get her wrist in a 90-degree angle. This is not the time to sit there and go, come on, so look at that. Look at the startle I have just by putting in her to a 90. But this is where, again, just like I was doing with Paul's feet, see how I'm up underneath and dropping, allowing that gravity to take over into the wrist. There she goes. So see the difference now of that coming into more push-ups.
Can you work on yourself?
You can, not to the same efficiency, but yes. I actually have a
Can
video.
you work on yourself?
Again, not to the same.
I'm
At least give me 1 hour on my own outer body experience. But see, the more I work on the hand, you see the more that I get out of her whole body, just from hand and wrist. Now again, I'm increasing her acceleration. This is very important. Handwriting skills, I'm telling you now, if your hand, wrist will only go as fast as your tush.
So do you get much of an emotional response or release or reaction with when you do these?
Yes and no. I think it's, what I'm doing is so not in your vocabulary. It's more like, what she just do to me, like she, and he can tell you when they broke up, when they were together. So now from this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Lie on your back. And I just want you to gently feel what it's like to sit up to your right and then come back down and sit up to your left. Just from the wrist and the chest. You feel that?
Yeah. That was crazy. Did you guys see what I felt?
Do it again, but
That was,
see the difference? How her arm can come over that crossing midline? No midline crossing with this one,
Yeah.
so I prefer to get
The
to
legs
that
up
side.
and engaged.
Yeah. So if you lie down, so if I'm here with her now as a baby, I can just do this, and she weighs about 3 ounces. See, she's just here. You guys can try this if you want. But if I come over here, just alone, the weight of her arm. But see here, look at this. See how the chest is not, and for me to, yeah, now see, that's what Paul was doing. Just see how she tried to lift her head.
Yeah.
Just from that, my stimuli. But for whatever reason now, here, what I did, which I would assume she's more so doing, is I've gotten someplace into her shoulder that she doesn't want to have a conversation with. So now she's automatically going to start lifting her head because she's afraid that I'm either going to hurt her here or hurt her here. Even if she might not say it out of her mouth, it's just a subconscious response. So she naturally lifted her head up so she wouldn't have to have that conversation.
So she can compensate.
However you want to call it, but yeah, she went into some kind of self-protective response. But I'm saying if she's a typical woman with children and a husband and whatever, and a house and a mortgage doing this, I want you just to have more of appreciation of what a baby would be going through.
Sure.
And they're suddenly, in a, like I said, I'm picking on car seats. I don't mean to pick on car seats, but if that's the one day that they decide that they're just going to reach and try and touch their toy with this kind of arm, but that's the response they get is this kind of arm, which one do you think is neuromapping?
Right.
Here? But this was, you know, it wasn't, he didn't
Right.
plant. He was kind of doing
Couldn't plant,
this,
yeah.
but he was, you know, doing that kind of thing. But left side he was good. Now he'll want, just like the standing leg, be at a point, this, okay, to answer your question before we're crawling. So if I'm just doing 4 points, I'm a table. I take away one leg, I'm going down. Without a weight transfer, I need to counter shift, especially to the back of my pelvis, almost to the one knee where I have this free and available. The more I can counter, the more I call real estate I have. If I'm countering like this, you know what I mean? Like I might want to play with this, but I can't get to it, or I fall down. I learned, well, don't play over here. You know what I mean? So this is more what it's like. So you'll see when they're here, and again, if I sleep on my belly, right? I'm here. If I have any little dreams, I'm going into a pre-crawl. You know? If I have too much tummy time, or whatever, I'm here. Especially if I go frog. You know, the knee placement is just that little bit higher versus here. Now here again, I have abnormal knees, so you'll see my knees go up. But if I'm here with my legs, that's an issue. But if I'm flat-headed, I'm more here. Look at the difference on how I present in lying down. Right?
Your hips are flexed.
All of that, especially here, that this is actually more comfortable now to go frog. And that's where you see flat-head kids tend to have a bit more, and then they start getting the hip malformation and the hip dysplasia. So if you want, you could go, when you lie down in the bed tonight or whatever, you can feel it. This actually hurts. This is more comfortable when my head's okay here. But when I go flat head, I'm actually more comfortable in the...
So when you make any kind of change in the body, the rest of your body,
Absolutely.